Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 176 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother's show, One.
How we doing?
Fantastic. If this is the first time you're seeing or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know in the world of video games, according to us. If you like that, make sure you go down, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes, and share the video with your friends, family, and everyone in between. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, just like our producers, Steve Appleton and Aunt Sue did, as well as our affiliates, Logan Wilkinson and James Solar. Logan and James, just so you know, the bonus episode will be coming out this Friday. With the world being crazy right now, we didn't have a chance to record it yet, but that will be coming Friday, so stay tuned for that. If you like merch, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. Also, if you like Twitch, we probably won't be there anytime soon, but you can go to twitch.tv/2player_co-op. I may try to stream here and again, but like it's tough right now because the quote unquote studio is being used for homeschooling. So during the week, I just don't want to mess with moving everything around and whatnot, but we'll see. Sean gave me a good idea for an upcoming Let's Play that we can't really do together, but it would be fun for me to do. He may have created me a couple levels to play, so we'll see about that here in the future. Yeah, if you're watching, or if you watched last week, sorry for the issues. I tried to be too fancy. I flew too close to the sun like Icarus, and the audio had some weird issues. I think because Sean, I think it's because I'm using your microphone, but I didn't switch it to my settings on the USB mixer. So I think that's what was causing me sometimes to go, but I don't know, because I can get a little bit loud. So
Yes.
that could have been the issue for it. Also, my mouth wasn't synced up. Basically, what I was trying to do was to use OBS, take Sean's Skype video from OBS, or no, take Sean's Skype video, move it into OBS, use my video through the camera with my audio, and there was a big delay. My mouth wasn't synced up. Sean's was, so I don't know. So now we're just doing Zoom meetings like everybody else on the planet is to record this, and it'll be like that for the foreseeable future because we are in a pandemic. Sean, how are you holding up?
I'm all right. Beautiful day today. Got out, got some fresh air, got some sun, went for a nice little walk. Can't complain. It's, sad, but everything's kind of just, I don't know. It's almost like this is just the new normal. Like, it's weird how much you just kind of get used to it. And I don't know.
Yeah, I went out back and I started trying to scoop the leaves out of the pool. And at least it's not green. Well, it wasn't green until I started brushing the dead algae off, and now it's all floating up in the water. And I got to clean the filter again, and then I got to vacuum it, and it's going to be a process. But the pool's already up to 68 degrees somehow. So if it was clean, I'm guessing the boys would be in it already here on April 5th. But you never know. Oh, I forgot to tell. Remember how I told you, or I zoomed you before we started talking, that I heard Darth Vader in the room?
Yeah.
I finally figured out what it was, because it sounded like a toy was dying, like the battery was dying. And then when I got up to look for it the first time, it stopped. So I was like, maybe I'm hearing things. Then it started again. I tracked down the culprit. There was a kid's, like a little baby book with like lion sounds and stuff. Like you push the button and it roars. So the lion was just roaring with low batteries nonstop. So I just took it downstairs and threw it in the garbage. So that was it. Sean, is there anything you wanted to ask me about?
Nope.
Okay.
You're looking good. So I think we've told the story on here before.
Okay.
About the time where you were told that you look like a certain person, and this girl or these girls were unwilling to listen when you
Yeah.
said that ain't me. I kind of see it now.
Really? If I
Because-
had,
because
I
of
was
this
looking for
whole
one of
thing.
the, I was looking for one of the kids' cowboy hats to see if that would make the difference.
I can't even think of his name now, but
Brad
Paisley.
Paisley.
Yeah, you look like Brad Paisley.
See, the funny thing is,
So you're in a little worse. You're a little worse off than I am, but we're kind of similar in that I don't know if it's just the video quality, but you got a solid mustache.
it's just
The
so.
rest of it's a little not so great. And this, I mean, this is about as thick as this gets.
Well, I mean, look at this over
But
here.
the mustache is solid. I mean, yeah, I can't even see it on the video.
Exactly. The mustache,
The
though,
mustache, it's a solid mustache.
I'm just like I'm in lockdown, so I'm like, whatever. I'm just not going to shave until Jess says, "Get that freaking dead rat off your face."
Has she
But
said anything yet? Has she
no,
acknowledged it?
nothing. I think she's wanting me to be like, "So what do you think?" So I'm not saying anything either. But yeah,
I'm curious to see what it looks like in another week. So hopefully she lets it go for another, because you had almost nothing last week, at least that I could see.
Yeah,
I mean, I
is
saw Scruff.
yeah. This
So
is
I'm
like
curious to see what this turns into in another week.
yeah. This is a week and a half, I would say, right now,
Okay.
which is probably the longest I've ever gone. I'm not even shaving this neck hair stuff down here. I just don't care because what the hell kind of world are we living in, anyways?
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, all right. I told Sean don't bring it up until we're actually recording because I thought he'd have something to say. Let me see. Speaking of something to say, what else? Oh yeah, so I rewatched the other night. I rewatched episode 9. Sean.
Okay.
I still have so many issues with it. And the funny thing was when the boys went upstairs to bed after, and I heard them talking before I got up there, Nick was like, just nothing, Noah, nothing makes any sense. Like, where did all these ships come from? And like, why is he still alive? And where did all these people come from? And I'm like, I walked in, I was like, Nick, I know. You just can't think about it. You just got to go with it. So I went into this rewatch just saying, I'm just going to go with it. And it was much better than I remember it being. I will say that. I had more fun with it this time for sure. Now that I knew all the dumb stuff that was going to happen, I guess it didn't bother me as much. The kiss at the end was still just absolutely not earned and the dumbest thing ever.
That's so stupid.
The funniest thing, so I thought of this when I was watching. Oh, sorry, spoilers. It's like 6 months old now. I was thinking the way he died, I forgot how horribly he dies. They kiss, they show both their faces, they both laugh, he smiles, and then he just drops dead. And then they like zoom it, so they show him like falling down. And I finally realized why I think it's so stupid. It reminds me of like a musical or a play. The way that he dies is so absolutely ridiculous. And yeah. I was like, that it's like a musical or something, and like you just expect like the music to swell and stuff. I was like, those what they no. Ugh. But like I said, I had a lot more fun with it this time. I still don't understand. I guess she stabbed him. He hears Leia say Ben. She stabs him. She brings him back to life. She leaves. And then you hear Han say, "Hey kid, turn around, have the conversation." And I guess that's what turned him. I don't know. The funny thing, I thought when we watched it the first time, Leia like disappeared then. She doesn't disappear until Ben disappears. So I just remembered that wrong.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember. So what I'm curious about, I feel like it would be similar but different to Last Jedi. So I went into Last Jedi completely blind and hopes like through the roof. As soon as I heard the title, The Last Jedi, I'm like, that's perfect. I cannot wait for this. I don't want to know anything about it. Let's go. And then I remember leaving and I was like, that was good. And then I'm like, no, it wasn't. That was awful. And I was so annoyed. Then when I went back and watched it with more reasonable expectations, it was a little better than I remembered, but still bad. This, I feel like I owe another view because I originally went into it with just such low expectations that I definitely liked it better than you did.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see if I watch it again, what do I think? Is it better knowing, having been through it once already and not going in just expecting it to be bad and looking for all its faults? If I just go into it, with an open mind, I'm curious what I would think about it. So I do need to rewatch it at some point also, but
Yeah, I'm glad I've got it. If nothing else, I've got everything now. I don't have the prequels on Blu-ray, but I have the other 6 on Blu-ray. I don't think there's any need for that. Maybe Revenge of the Jedi. Revenge of the Sith. Sorry. That's what the title was originally going to be called for Return of the Jedi. Did you know?
that is correct.
Yeah, but they're like, no, that sounds way too.
Jedis
evil.
wouldn't want revenge.
They would just want to return.
Right.
So yeah, I had fun with it and whatever. It's I would say it's probably an 8 out of 10 now. I think I probably thought it was a 6 or a 7 originally when we talked.
Wow.
But I'd say it's about an 8 if you just got to just go with it. And I think you said that during our review. It's like, yeah, a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense, but it's fun. And you're seeing the 3 of them together for almost the entire movie, which we really never got to see before then. So I had fun with it. The Last Jedi, when I rewatched it before episode 9 came out, if you remember my rant on here and all my copious notes, and I can't remember if I did a Twitter feed on it, but it made me even angrier because it just seemed like seemed like, and I still say to this day, like it was made by someone who hates Star Wars and hates its fans.
Yeah.
So whatever. A couple other quick things here. So Modern Warfare 2 did release last week, shocking nobody. It is only $19.99, which I think is a very fair price. But it did only launch on PS4, which I think is very interesting. It'll be out April 30th on Xbone and PC. Any interest in going back, Sean?
No, but I was going to ask you if you were going to get it.
I probably will, especially because of we'll get to it in the news. It's one of those when I'm done playing through Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7, go back to Hellblade, hopefully beat Doom. But then I got to work on my platinum, so I don't know. But it's one of those like this summer, in case I don't have something to play because games might get delayed indefinitely. It's one of those, I'm like, $20, whatever, I'll play through it again. And people are mad that there's no multiplayer in it. I'm like, great. I don't have to pay an extra $20 or something for it to have the stupid multiplayer in it. So I'm fine with it. I'll probably pick it up. I will pick it up at some point. I don't think I'll wait for a sale because I think $20 is a fair price for it. I got way too much to play right now. So not anytime soon.
Hey, when is your Final Fantasy coming?
Mine says it's coming the 14th.
Okay. Well, that's what mine says now, too. I was afraid since it took this long to actually update, I was thinking it's going to be like a week after. But
so I bet they probably just don't have. That's interesting.
I'm so torn. Like I don't even care about the physical copy, but I want the box. And I'm almost tempted to just be like, I wonder if I can just buy. Do people like make these? I mean, I'm sure I could print it off and it wouldn't look very good. I could find a spare Blu-ray case and like make a box, but I want the box. Like I've been waiting for this game forever. I want to hold something and be able to look at it. And I'm so torn. Part of me is like, I've waited like since this was ever even teased, probably like more than a decade at this point for this game. So it's like, could I wait an extra 5 days? Yeah, probably. But man, I don't know.
Let's what is your hype level? And just real quick here. So Square Enix did confirm that some copies are being sent out early across Europe. They landed in Australia and people had the game like Tuesday or something. So like a week and a half before it comes out. But they did say, yes, we sent out copies early because everything's that's going on. Please don't spoil the game. Don't watch the new trailer if you haven't already. Schreier and a few other people said do not do it. There's old spoilers and new spoilers in there. I have not watched it. Sean has not watched it. But what is your hype level? Like, do you think you can wait? Because I think we come to a decision together and just say it is decided that we'll either. Well, first off, I'm still going to wait till Wednesday. Because if for some
Yeah.
reason it does ship Wednesday, that means I'm going to get it Friday or Saturday at the latest. So if by Wednesday night it hasn't shipped, I'm thinking I'll cancel it, but that kills me. I just don't want to wait 5 days to play this game.
I know.
But so where are you at with your hype level right now, and where are you at with the waiting until freaking Tuesday, Wednesday to play it?
When I don't really think about it too much, my hype level is through the roof. I was not blown away by the demo. It didn't feel like Final Fantasy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I loved just the fact that I was playing it and that it was happening. Like, I loved all that. And I'm sure I'm going to love this game, but the way the demo played, I don't know. I just feel like I can fly through that game and get way past that part and not even come close to dying, the original.
Yeah.
And this, I'm like, why can't I even beat this boss? Like, why am I struggling here? This should not be this difficult. So I don't know if there's something that I missed or that wasn't really explained well in the demo, but I just felt like I wasn't playing it correctly. And I don't know. I'm not too worried about it ruining the experience. I'm sure I'll learn to love it, and it probably won't take much at all. There's been plenty of times where I've played demos and been like, this is okay. And then the actual game blows me away. So I'm not too worried about it. I just don't know what to do. Like, the good thing is this is a long, long game.
Yeah.
Now, if I had waited an extra 5 days to get, say, Resident Evil, I feel like most of the people that already got it will have already beaten it by the time I got it, and it's this whole FOMO thing. This, I'm like, okay, yeah, people will have a head start on me, and A, what does it even matter? And B, I mean, that's it. It's just A, like, who cares? It doesn't matter. But, and there probably will be some people that beat it in the first 5 days. But man, I don't know. I've been waiting for this game so long that it's like, what's an extra 5 days? But I think if it was delayed, if Sony was like, or Square, whoever was like, look, everybody's getting it 5 days late, I'd be like, whatever, I don't care. But the fact, but other people already have it in Australia and Europe
Right.
and whatever. So,
well,
even if I get it on time, people already have it. People probably, I know at least one person has beaten it that I came across on Twitter. Like,
oh God.
So, and they said it took him like 34, 35 hours or something.
Nice.
And that was nowhere near like 100%ing it. That was, I think it was some of the side stuff, but not a whole, I don't know. I'm just so torn. I wish there's a way you could get the download and then show some kind of proof that you bought the physical and then be like, give me my money back for the down. Like, I don't know. I just wish there was some way to do it. And there's not.
Well, the other thing you could do, I was just thinking about this. GameStop, I assume GameStop is closed here, but Walmart and Target will be open. So if you want,
I've thought about it, but I can't imagine if Amazon can't even get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crossed my mind.
But I did see Wario tweeting the other day that Target did have RE3, but I mean that wasn't delayed for us or anything.
Right.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I do really want that box, and I think it's got a reversible jacket also, but I could be wrong. Like a reversible art, so you can flip it around in the Blu-ray case, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it. I just, yeah, I'll figure it out. I don't know. Oh, and then one other little tidbit here, not shocking anyone, the Uncharted movie has been delayed all the way to October 2021. Shocking absolutely nobody. I did not have to jump in the pool, by the way.
When was it supposedly originally?
Originally, I think it was December of this year, and then I think they moved it back to March, and now it's October, I think. So, whatever. I don't know. I actually did see a cool fan art of somebody just kind of put his face on Drake's body from Uncharted 4, and I was like, okay, that does kind of look cool, but I don't know. I don't know. That's my Spider-Man. I don't think that's not my Drake.
Yeah.
Sean, did you play anything this week besides the big one?
I can't remember if I told you, but I did end up beating Cuphead.
Okay.
I mean, I beat it a long time ago, but
Yeah.
I lost all my saves when I traded in my Switch. So I'm like, well, I got to beat it again now. I think that's it.
You didn't go to your island anymore?
No, I've been too busy with. I mean, I played it earlier in the week, but not since
Okay. Yeah.
Friday.
All right. Go.
Something. I don't know what triggered it. Something prompted me to start playing Zelda 2. So I went through and beat that. I mean, I've beaten it before, but I went through and beat it again.
On what?
On the Switch, on the Nintendo Online.
Wait,
thing
did your thing expire yet?
It did, but it like automatically renewed for 3 months, I guess. So
okay, mine did not. So yeah, we could still do the family plan thing, whatever. But okay.
I've changed what I've thought about that game. Where I'm like, I don't see how anybody could beat this because the game's not that difficult until the final palace.
Yeah.
But if you know where you're going, you should already be fully leveled up by that point. And so with that knowledge, there's really no benefit to killing many enemies in the final palace because you don't need the experience anymore. And so there's a lot of one-ups around the map that if you know where they are and you collect them all, you can go into the final palace with like 7, 8, 9 lives, whatever. And so even if you die, that's one good thing about that game is if you die, you basically just start at the beginning of that room that you died in.
Okay.
So even if you could die multiple times getting through that, Thunderbird is not that difficult.
And Shadow Link isn't either because you can just cheese him in the corner, right?
Right. That's super easy. I tried just for the heck of it to fight him without doing the cheese. I literally I did not hit him one time. I'm sure there's like a way to do it, but I was just trying to fight him. It was just a lot of button mashing, but like I was trying to pick my spots. I literally did not hit him one time. So I don't know how you're supposed to fight him outside of, just the duck in the corner and slash. It's definitely a difficult game, but it is beatable. If you know where you're going, you would need to play with a guide because the last palace is like huge.
Yeah.
But if you know where you're going and you know where to go around the map to like grab one-ups and stuff before you go, it's certainly beatable, even without, save states and stuff. Difficult, but beatable.
See, I forgot this game even had one-ups. That's how long it's been since I even.
Yeah.
I mean, I turned it on when I got the NES Classic. I played for like 10 minutes. I was like, I don't like this. I'm just done. I probably do owe it to the game to give it another shot at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Me this week before we get to the main game, I did beat Twin Breaker. As I was telling Sean, though, I got annoyed by one of the trophies because I didn't interpret it correctly. There's a trophy that I cannot remember what the name of it is, but the description is beat the game in 24 Earth hours. I interpreted that to be a super easy trophy to get because I thought that meant you have 24 hours of playing the game, total gameplay on Earth to get this trophy. It's not what it meant. What it means is you have to beat the game. You start it at noon on Saturday. You have to beat it by noon on Sunday. Otherwise, you can't get the trophy. Now, the only thing that might help me, and I don't know, this is one of those games I'll probably just chip away at for a while. The only thing I don't know, and to try to get the platinum, you can do it on New Game Plus. You can get that trophy on New Game Plus. So it's really just going to be whenever I do New Game Plus, I just have to be dedicated like one night, sit down for 2-3 hours and just be like, I'm going to beat this tonight. So so that doesn't happen again. Because without that, you can't get the platinum. I like the last. I don't remember where I was at last time, but you know that the third batch of stages, levels 21 through 30, it's got the paddles on the sides and the bottom. That was tough. Then when you get to 31 to 40, they've got like spinning paddles and stuff, but you got some levels that are on the side, on the bottom, or both. So it's not all one thing. But I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it's not my game of the year, obviously. It's just like I said, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. You should give it a try. But you know, I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I supported Colin and Chris and Lily Mo Games. And yeah, like I said, I'll probably chip away to try to get the platinum eventually, but I'm not 100% sure about that because I'm just not very good at this game. I'm not good at any games, but definitely this one as well. The only other thing, I did play a little bit more Doom Eternal. I just played it the other night for like an hour and a half, and it finally clicked. It was so weird that all of a sudden it's like I was getting used to the rhythm of the game and liking it when it comes to dashing here to there, jumping. Like I said a while ago, you just have to keep moving in this game or you're dead. And I got used to the dash and the jump and the moving around and just never stop, you know, trying to hit the enemies in their weak spots, whether it's like the guy with the big bazooka arms or the guys with the things up here, and take them out that way. The best way to do the kills, to save your chainsaw for when you need ammo, et cetera, et cetera. And all of a sudden, it's just like I got the rhythm of it. And then I got to a couple more boring, annoying platforming sections. But I did like it. I think this is one of those games that, like, maybe depending on what I do with FF7, I might. But I've heard the game's like 20, 25 hours long. I probably played it for like 5. So I'm nowhere near it. I think it's one of those that I don't know that I'll sit there and just try to beat it. But I think it's one of those I'll play every so often throughout the year. Because I feel like if I go away from it for too long, then everything I just said will be gone. I won't be used to it anymore. I won't know the rhythm and what you're supposed to do. I'll completely forget everything. But the last time I played it was when it really finally started to click. And I did get the super shotgun, so that probably helped. That thing is freaking awesome and so much fun. But yeah, I really like it. It's probably, as of now, well, no, it's not. It's close to being my game of the year right now, but it's not. We'll get to that here in a minute. But Doom Eternal is a lot of fun. But Sean,
Yes,
a certain game came out on Friday named Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
except
Sean,
it's not.
it's not. Why didn't they call it Nemesis? Sean, just you beat it. Now, I know this is a 21-year-old game, but since I never played that 21-year-old game, let's stay light on spoilers.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything. So have you not played since where you ended last night?
No, because life was just too crazy today.
Yeah.
So what do you think,
yeah,
Sean?
I beat it. I beat it in basically just 2 sessions. Took me just a little over 6 hours. I like it a lot. I don't no, it's definitely not as good as Resident Evil 2. And I wasn't expecting it to be. I don't think anybody was. But it's fantastic. I mean, I think it's every bit as good as I hoped it would be. It is a little short. It left me wanting more for sure. Like I beat it. Now, one thing that's cool, I guess, is they do like reward you for doing multiple playthroughs. I don't think there's a new game plus per se, but depending on I don't know if they're the exact same things as the PlayStation, like the trophies, or if it's a different set of achievements. They may be one and the same. I don't know. But depending on which ones you get, I don't remember what they call it, but some kind of like in-game currency that you can use to buy different outfits and different weapons and things like that. And in order to get the really good stuff, you need to beat the game at least twice. Unless you're doing like everything, you get every single achievement possible, you're not going to be able to get some of the really, like the infinite rocket launcher and stuff like that. So there's some incentive to going through and playing it multiple times. But it left me wanting more. But what was there was great. I don't remember much about the original, so I don't know how true it stayed to it. I found myself a little, and it's exactly, I mean, I called it. I found myself a little underwhelmed by Nemesis. I think Mr. X perfected what Nemesis should have been, so there was no way to be that good. There's something about Mr. X just like stomping around and like versus Nemesis, like pew, like he'll just jump and all of a sudden he's like in front of you. And I'm like, that's it. I don't know. It kind of takes you out of it somehow. I don't know. Nemesis never really, other than like, oh God, here we go. He's going to kill me. Like Mr. X terrified me. Nemesis was more of just kind of an annoyance. He was just like, he didn't like scare me. It was just, oh, this is going to make the game more difficult because now I have to deal with Nemesis. It's more of that kind of thing. What else? What I will say, this game, even though I think nothing will ever top Resident Evil 7 in terms of just overall, just like terrified playing the game. Like I texted you, I audibly yelped multiple times playing this game. And I don't know if it's just that it's a lot of it's more open compared to Resident Evil 2 or what, but I felt like I kept getting snuck up upon by zombies and I'd be like killing one. Okay, got it. And then I turn around and all of a sudden there's like one in my face and
He's biting your neck. Yeah.
And like I yelped no less than 5 times during this game. I don't know. And I don't think 2 was anywhere near that. I don't even think 7 was anywhere near that. 7 was just this overall feeling of just like uneasiness. This seemed to have, and it wasn't even like there's jump scares in 2. Like if you don't know it's coming, I think it's either Claire's original or Leon's, what is it? Claire's A or Leon's B. I don't know. Whatever is not Leon's first playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is in Claire's first playthrough. There's a part where you are in like an interrogation room and they have like the 2-way mirror thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it was coming from the original, but a licker just jumps through. Like there's a lot of like intentional jump scares in 2. This, I don't even think had that many that were like trying to be like, boo, gotcha. But I don't know if it's just the way it played out for me or what, but there were so many times that I just like, gah, like I jumped and like screamed a little bit. I don't know. I won't say anything. The end, no, not like the end, but like the almost end is just like awesome. I'll say that. Okay. I'll say how the final boss fight ends. It's just like, yeah, oh, it's just so cool. But yeah, I think since you still have to go back through the hospital, right?
Yeah. Although I thought, remember what I was like, oh crap, I probably missed a hip pouch. And then I went over to the save and it was like, oh, there's a hip pouch right there. Well, okay, cool. So I still don't have all of them. There's one I'm missing, but I don't know.
You definitely want to go back through there.
Okay.
Do all the
zombies stay dead that I killed as Carlos? Because I went through a little bit, and
no, there's definitely still enemies, but I don't.
Well, I saw one of you know what popped up, and I was like, "Oh my god! Oh great! Yeah. Rob Gronkowski is the 24/7 champion. I'm so glad I'm not watching this stupid show."
It's not terrible there with going back through with Jill. I think you've probably got I would say 3.5 hours left.
Okay. Because I
Um,
think I'm at about, I didn't check it after I saved, but I think based on how long I played, I'm right around 4:15 to 4:30, I would guess, so far.
okay. Yeah, you've probably got 3.5. I mean, at the rate you're going, maybe closer to 4.
Okay.
3.5 to 4 hours left. But yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, what do you think?
So let me go through my notes here. First thing I wrote down is the RE engine is just continues to blow me away. These between RE2 and this, and I think this actually even looks better than RE2, maybe just a smidge. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're outside for so much of it.
Yeah.
And it's wet and dark, and it just looks amazing. This engine, I cannot wait to see what they can do on PS5. Jill in this, Carlos was right when he called her Super Cop, because I wrote down here she's basically Rey in episode 9. She's just like
Yeah.
so overpowered that like it's just amazing. The opening escape sequence was awesome. Again, I also I've never even touched Resident Evil 3. I've never played it for 1 second before this game, and I think I'm pretty sure it was the same way with 2 as well. The opening sequence was crazy. While Nemesis, I agree, nowhere near Mr. X. It's not even close to me. This is more just like, oh my God, how many times is this idiot going to keep coming back? Like, what do I do? He's basically like Doomsday. You shoot him and he becomes stronger and he like hulks up and stuff. His music though, when he starts chasing you, that music is just terrifying. And the music in general in this game is freaking awesome. There's so many times where I'm just walking around the hospital or the opening streets and stuff, and the sound design too. There's times where I've stepped on broken glass and I'm like, oh my God, oh no. And I'm like, oh wait, that was me stepping on glass. Like, it's not somebody coming through a window after me. And it's just everything in the game is terrifying. I didn't realize they've got the head popper zombie things is what I wrote down here. That was an RE4, right? Where you'd kill him, you thought you killed him, and then it goes like
That was in 4, but there's also things like that. What it reminded me of, honestly, there's also those kinds of things in Bloodborne.
Oh,
and since that was more fresh on my mind, that's what it made me think of. But
nope. What else do I have here? Oh, the things in the sewers.
yeah,
Good God. The first time I saw one of those things squirm out of the pipe, I was like, and then it was just,
I saw one. I'm like, oh my God. And I turned around and I ran right into another one. He went and just ate me. I'm like, well, okay.
That is one thing in this that I definitely don't think RE2 had. There are so many one-hit kill enemies in this. Like, until you figure out how they attack, when you come to a new enemy like the ones in the hospital, I don't know if I should, it's not really a spoiler to say it, is it?
I don't think so.
The hunters, which apparently are in 1 as well. After you text me about the jumping swipe attack, I got jumping swipe attacked like 2 or 3 times in a row. I was like, oh my God, please stop. The good thing though is when you play as Jill there, having the grenade launcher is awesome because I had a lot of ammo for that, so that made things better. But yeah, I like how it connects to 2. That's all I'll say, which I didn't realize at all. I know you said you had said it on a podcast. Maybe that was one where I was drinking a lot and I just forgot about it. But I thought that was so cool. What else here? Oh, what do you think about Carlos in the game? Other than
I like him a lot in this game.
Ridiculous hair.
I liked him a lot. That was one thing I didn't really care for with Resident Evil 3 is I'm like, you're Jill, but then it's like, who's Carlos and who's Mikhail and who's Nikolai? Like, where are these people that I know? And I remember that was one of the things that always kind of turned me off to 3. I'm like, who are these people? I don't care about any of them. In this one, I still don't really care about Mikhail or Nikolai, but I like Carlos. I like Carlos a lot in this. Way more. Like in Resident Evil 3, I thought he was just whatever. He's there. He's he's the man. You always have to have a guy and a girl.
Right.
He's just the guy in the game, and I'm like, whatever. I don't care about him. He sucks, but I liked him in this.
Yeah, I heard some people were saying, like, I was listening to a little bit of Kind of Funny's review of this, and I didn't want to listen too much because I was worried about spoilers, but none of them really liked him as a character. But I kind of do. I do think it's kind of funny that he didn't realize Umbrella was bad, but then like it's not like just because he works there as like security or whatever doesn't mean he knows all the goings on
Right.
that Jill and Leon and Claire and everybody else know. But I mean, I really like him. That the hair is so distracting in the cutscenes. I'm just like, why did they give him this hair? Maybe they were just trying to show off their hair technology or something. But
the hair looks good in this game.
Yes, the
like
hair
when
is,
you're Jill, I know there's at least the part in the sewer, when you walk through like the poop pipe,
yeah.
and like you're just like covered in it, and you can see her hair just gets all like nasty and wet and like matted down or whatever. And then there's some other part. It's not just like rain or something. I feel like there's something else that happens at some point in the game where you can see it, like how it affects her hair. But yeah, I think the hair looks. It's mainly Jill and Carlos, but yeah, it looks amazing.
But Carlos, I still say to this day, I don't care who's credited as voicing him. That's Keanu Reeves. It has to be. Or it's somebody doing a Keanu impression.
So one thing, even though I absolutely expected it, both from the original and just what I've seen of this game before playing it, I liked the game a lot better later on. I didn't care for like everything was just too dark. Like I feel like I'm using my flashlight at all times and I can't see anything. And even when I'm not using it because it's bright enough, it's usually still just so dark. I'm like, and I know it's supposed to be scary, whatever, but like there were so many times I'm like, can I just go into like a well-lit room for once? I'm like, I'm sick of just not being able to see anything in this game. And it definitely gets better later on. But the beginning, I liked the last 2/3, if not 3/4 of this game way more than the beginning. Even though it is cool to be out like in Raccoon City and like, not that it's like Grand Theft Auto by any means. It's not like wide open. You're still somewhat confined, but I don't know. I know it sounds stupid to say about a Resident Evil game, but everything just seemed too dark in the beginning.
I did notice a lot of times where I felt like Jill should turn or Carlos should turn their flashlights on and they don't. And I'm like, why? Like it's not bright enough in here.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing, which I didn't even think about until now, I'm thankful for, but the first time I saw the dogs, I was like, oh God, like the bane of my existence. I hate dogs in every single Resident Evil game.
I threw a grenade at
I don't think I killed but 4 or 5 throughout the whole game. Like there's definitely not that many of them, which I'm thankful for.
I only saw them at that first time where they show up and I had a grenade. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this. There's like 3 of them. And I guess I got them all with it. I was like, thank God. I hate these stupid things. So I hope they don't come back. I hate the dogs in this. Even though they're zombie dogs, I hate killing them. Everything else I wrote down. Oh, the only other thing I was going to say about Carlos, it's nice that Nemesis is only after Jill. So when you're playing as Carlos, it kind of gives you a break to just play Resident Evil, although it is I feel like this is way more action focused than 2 was. And it's funny. Yeah. It's funny because, again, I didn't play the original, but everybody says RE4, while it's probably one of the best games ever made, it started the trend towards 5 and 6 when it was all action and stuff. I kind of feel like this has just as much, maybe not as much action as 4 does, but this is way more action focused than 2 was for sure. Especially when you're Carlos. I mean, they give you an automatic, rifle, and it's just they give you a rifle. They give you an automatic rifle because they're going to give you lots of zombies to shoot in the head, and hunters and everything else. But it is nice to kind of get a breather and not have to worry about Nemesis just running through a wall and making me pee my pants.
One thing I'll say about this game is Um, as much as realistic as Resident Evil can be, this game felt more real. Like it never really made sense. Like why I'm in a police station, why are there all these like heart doors and key and diamonds? This never makes sense. Like it works well in a game, but when you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. Why do I need to collect these metals or animals, whatever they are, to like open a secret compartment under a statue? Like it just none of it made sense. At least in this, even though there's not a whole lot of it, it's like there wasn't a whole lot of like collectathon kind of thing. So it was like, hey, here's a key. It's literally just a key. It'll open that gate. Like, okay, great. Or like, oh, the power's out. I need to go find some fuses from these other things and put them into this thing instead. Like stuff like that. It all just like
Or like the 4 breakers that were tripped. You just untrip the breakers
right.
and then
Like it
power's
just
back on. Yeah.
that part with the I think they're
The
chimeras.
spiders.
Yeah. That reminded me of Jurassic Park. When Ellie's trying to turn the power back on with the raptor. That's just I don't know. I just kind
when
of
she's
had that
going
feeling there.
clunk, clunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I don't know. Just in general, I feel like the game it just kind of I don't know. There's not as many, if any, weird collectibles that in the grand scheme of things just don't really make sense. Like why would that actually exist in the real world? So I will give it credit for that.
Yeah, the other things I wrote down here, they're story based, so I won't say anything about them. My final thoughts over here. I do think Nemesis, and maybe you agree. I think he's more annoying than terrifying in this.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I said earlier, like, oh my God, we're doing this again. He's either a boss fight or he's chasing you and you just need to run away. It's never, and I've been trying, because remember there was the controversy that somebody said, ooh, he can break into safe rooms. I don't know what this guy, because supposedly he was saving the game, and maybe I just haven't gotten to this part. He was saving the game somewhere that he thought was a safe room, but it wasn't a safe room, and Nemesis came in and got him. I have not experienced, anytime I see a typewriter, it's a safe room. So
Yeah.
I have no idea what he was thinking about.
Well, the thing is, it kind of seems like in the RE2 remake, Mr. X is kind of what Nemesis was in Nemesis.
Okay.
And then it's almost like Mr. X in the original RE2 is almost like Nemesis is in the remake.
Okay.
And like RE2, Mr. X was not like that at all. I mean, he was like, it wasn't, he popped up a few times, but like in the 2 remake, he was basically Nemesis, how Nemesis was in the original, at least how I remember, where he's just always there and he could pop up at any given time. And it almost seems like Resident Evil 2, the remake, did too good of a job with it to where there was no way that 3 could top it. I don't know. I don't know. I think 2 is the better game regardless, and it almost seems like they put the better version of Mr. X, Nemesis, whatever you want to call it, they put the better version of that in the better game. Whether they meant to or not, I think they did it too well with 2 to where 3 was never going to be able to replicate that without just blatantly copying it.
See, I feel like, and it's funny now that, so when the reviews dropped, they were all over the place. Some people were giving it like a 5.5 out of 10. Some people were giving it a 9.5 out of 10. The Metacritic settled at an 80. And I think it's funny because right now where I'm at in the game, I would say it's probably an 8 out of 10. Now,
I think that's a little low. The only bad things I can say about it, or that I can imagine anybody saying about it, is it's too short, could be longer. Fair enough. Not different enough from 2, but 2 was like a 10 out of 10, so I don't want it to be that different. And Nemesis isn't as cool as Mr. X, but like, I don't know. I think we've all been spoiled by 2 to where that's the only thing that makes this not seem as good. I think 2 was a 10 out of 10. I think this was like at least an 8.5, if not a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and I think it could go higher for me because I've still got, like you said, a few hours left. And if you're saying the end is awesome, I could easily see again up to an 8.5 or a 9. I think I think it kind of suffers from that Uncharted 2 versus 3 debate where a lot of people, where Colin and Greg both used to say, if Uncharted 3 came out before Uncharted 2, everybody would say Uncharted 3 is the better game. It's because 2 was such a huge leap over 1, and then 3 was just more awesome Uncharted. It's like RE2 Remake was so awesome that this is just more RE2 Remake, you know?
Yeah.
Because it almost feels like RE2.5 almost. But I mean, I didn't expect this to be as good as 2 because, like I said, that's my favorite Resident Evil ever. I don't know right now if I would say this is better than 7. 2 is still my favorite. I think I like 7 better. I got to go back and play 7 again. Also,
So the funny thing is, did you know 3 was never meant to be Resident Evil 3? It was meant to just be more of like a spin-off and almost like a Resident Evil 2.5 kind
there
of
you
thing.
go. That makes sense.
And I think what they were thinking was going to be 3. They ended up just saying, call it Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and make this 3. And the team that was working on what became 3, Nemesis, when they found out it was like a mainline game, they were like, really? Like, because they thought they were just working on like a side story spin-off kind of thing. So it was never originally meant to be Resident Evil 3. So I don't know. My biggest complaint is that I want more of it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that's a complaint. I mean, that means the game is good. I just want more. So
Yep. I really like it. Hopefully I'll be able to. I don't know that I'll be able to beat it tomorrow night, but in the next couple of days I'll beat it, and then then I'll give my final verdict next week. But I'm just so glad it's here. We'll talk more about Resident Evil here a little bit in the news. I would be great getting a Resident Evil game on this level and the level of 2 every year. I don't even know that that's possible for them to keep this up. I do think that's why now, because originally, remember, the rumors were saying that 2 and 3 were actually, they wanted them to be released in one package, and then they just couldn't get 3 done in time, and then they delayed it a year, which I think it's great. You could tell they were able to reuse a lot of stuff too, even though it's prettier. A lot of the zombie types and stuff like that. I remember their faces and everything from 2, which is just so funny, but it makes sense because it's not like it's. I'm not saying that's a bad thing because you're in Raccoon City. You should be seeing the same kinds of zombies, wearing the same kinds of clothes and stuff like that. The only other thing I did want to say, when you get to the gun store, that was cool, and it made me go, oh man.
Well, and I noticed when I was getting there, I'm like, wait a minute, am I in the same? Yeah. And then I'm like, this looks familiar. And then once I saw the gun store, I'm like, oh. That I was dead on. That's exactly where I am, and it was cool what they did there.
See, I didn't recognize it until I got in the store, but then I was like, I saw the name on the store, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna? Yep,
because okay. I don't know. I think I may have just run around and found it, but it was right before that part, and I saw a parking garage with the gate down. And I'm like, I wonder if that's supposed to be like that parking garage. And then all of a sudden I was outside in this pretty open area. I'm like, wait, I think this is where you are when you leave the parking garage. And then I got to the gun shop and I'm like, that's exactly where I just thought it was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. This is actually making me want to go back and play 2 again. Cause I never did Claire A, Leon B.
I started Claire A. I can't remember where I finished off with it. I never beat it. I didn't get too far in. I don't even know if I got to where Mr. X shows up.
Okay.
But yeah, it does make me want to go back and play that again.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to do that this summer too. But yeah, Resident Evil 3 is awesome. If you don't have it already, go get it if you can, or download it. It's so much fun. Yeah. I'm glad that this is. I'm almost glad I wasn't a big Resident Evil guy back in the day, because it can't even compare to this. And you and other people that are fans of the series have to just be like, this is amazing. This is what they wanted to do from the beginning, but they just couldn't do it. All they had was tank controls and pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff. And just to see it in this world is just, it's just got to be so cool.
Right.
All right, Sean, you want to get the news of the week?
Let's do it.
Do you want the bad news or the good news first?
Bad. Always bad.
All right, let's get this out of the way. This past week on April 2nd, it's a good thing they waited a day, because otherwise I would have been like, you're kidding, right? PlayStation tweeted the following. Update. SIE has made the difficult decision to delay the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR until further notice. Logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. Naughty Dog then tweeted out a statement. As you've likely just seen, the release of The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is we're nearly done with the development of The Last of Us Part 2. We are in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time where we can solve these logistic issues. We were bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood it's what's best and fair to all of our players. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay, please God, and we'll update you as soon as we have more information, new information to share. We wish you all, your families, and your friends the best of health. Thank you for being amazing fans and for your continued support. Stay safe, Naughty Dog. Then, of course, Jason Schreier, he tweeted, a source tells me the game is basically done and this decision was made for purely economic and logistical reasons. Makes sense. That's kind of what Naughty Dog said as well. And then he tweeted also, The Last of Us 2 was on track for May, multiple devs tell me. The primary reason for the delay is the challenge of printing, shipping, and selling physical games right now. Going remote has not stopped those still working on the game, such as, QA from crunching. Hopefully this delay helps. Of course, nobody's reporting on Iron Man VR because nobody cares that was delayed. It's so funny because we literally talked about this last week. We were like, they can't delay it just because it's, because of the content of the game, etc. But we both said, well, maybe if they have to delay it a couple of weeks for manufacturing of the discs or something, yeah, we could see that happening. And now Sony drops the bomb on us. What do you think, Sean?
I mean, it's I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. I'm glad, if you believe it, and I do believe it, that's why it's being delayed. Whatever, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, and the reason
the
reason I do believe them is because they also delayed Iron Man. So right, that makes me think they weren't like, oh no, we can't release a game about a not even a pandemic. It's a zombie, whatever. But yeah,
it's a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Not exactly similar to what we're going through, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't know. I got enough to play anyway. Like, I'm not that beaten up about it. Now, depending on how long it gets delayed, I don't know. I almost think they should just wait and just say, oh, this is a PS5 game now.
And that's what I worry about. And the conspiracy theorist in me wonders if maybe Horizon 2 or something isn't going to be ready for launch. And they're like, you know what? Let's really perfect this. We've kind of got a built-in excuse.
You really think Horizon 2 might be a launch game for PS5 when we've heard nothing about it?
Yes. Because it's been
don't.
3.5 years. That came out in February 17. We're over 3 years since it came out. It'll be damn near 4 years by the time the PlayStation drops in November, if we're lucky. But I will say that was the other thing. This game getting delayed makes me go, we ain't getting these systems this year. No matter what Phil Spencer and Sony are saying. I mean, I know Phil Spencer's, I meant Xbox and Sony, you know what I mean? No matter what they're saying about these coming out like in November, I don't know that I believe it. Everybody says the manufacturing's back online, we're good to go, blah blah blah. And I know it's not. These discs aren't produced at like Foxconn or anything. I know that. I think one of the other things is shipping stuff right now is so crazy because they're trying to prioritize paper towels and toilet paper and bottled water and stuff and medicine and stuff that you actually need. So I wonder if that's it. Also, I don't know. But no, I still think Horizon 2 could be, because I still think Sony's going to do a big blowout this summer. I don't know if it'll be non-E3 week or what, but they have to show the console and the controller and everything at some point. And they've been so silent that it makes me think they've got to have, especially because Xbox is coming out with Halo. Now I know you can play it on the Xbone as well, but I feel like they've got to come out with a heavy hitter to try to convince 110 million people to have PS4s to upgrade to the new machine. But
Right.
yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they just delay this and make it a launch game and just pretty it up and 3D audio it up and all that other stuff, you know.
I would almost, at this point, I don't know. I don't know if I would say I would prefer that. If it's like a matter of does it come out in June or January, okay, I don't want to wait that long. But if it's going to be like September versus November or whatever, just make it a PS5 game. Just wait.
Yep. I agree. And if they do that though, it'll still come to PS4 because they'll just Twilight Princess it. But yeah. I don't know. It sucks, but now this lets me know I don't have to. I can take my time. I mean, I would have had a month and a half to beat Final Fantasy VII anyways and get my fill of it. So it's not like I was really worried about that, but now I can just take my time. Oh, apparently the Platinum Trophy doesn't seem like it's that bad. I haven't seen the trophies pop yet, but I think it was Push Square saying that the toughest part of it is beating everything on hard. And as hard as that game was just on normal, I mean, the demo was, I won't be going for it, but you never know. Maybe if you do perfect it, you can get another platinum.
This just seems like the kind of game that I've got no shot at getting the platinum on.
Yeah.
But
hell, you almost got Bloodborne for crying out loud.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
All right. Some better news now. Sean, this year is the 35th anniversary of Super Mario making his debut, and apparently Nintendo has big things planned. This comes from Eurogamer, which I didn't believe this until I saw Eurogamer start reporting on it. So what the heck? Let's buy into the hype. Nintendo Switch's first-party lineup for the rest of 2020 will be dominated by Mario games old and new to coincide with the original Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary. That's according to Eurogamer sources with knowledge of Nintendo's upcoming plans, who have corroborated a report posted by VGC. First, the report states Nintendo will release, quote, most of Super Mario's 35-year back... Damn you, Sean! Dash block. I don't know what it said. Most of Mario's games will be remastered for Switch. I'll just say that. Eurogamer sources have indicated that Mario Galaxy is indeed one of the games being readied for a remaster, alongside a couple of other 3D Mario favorites. Update. Gamatsu has now confirmed these as Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, which Eurogamer can also corroborate. I love that word, by the way. Many earlier Mario games are already available on Switch via the online NES and SNES apps. Second, the report states that, quote, several other Mario titles will release in 2020, including a new Paper Mario. Eurogamer sources have confirmed a new Paper Mario is in the works, along with a deluxe version of Super Mario 3D World, which will include an array of new levels. They're going to make me buy that stupid game again. Just the fact that they're putting in more levels, I'm like, God dang it. This long-rumored Wii U port is one of a couple of first-party games from Nintendo's previous console currently due for a new lease of life in 2020. I hadn't read that sentence before. That's interesting. Maybe they will bring Wind Waker over or something. When contacted for the story, Nintendo gave Eurogamer its traditional response that it does not comment on rumor or speculation. Some other notes here. So the 3D games are now rumored to be part of a collection called Super Mario All-Stars 2. Are you kidding me? So that would be Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy in one $60 box. Are you kidding me? I would be all over that. I've played Mario 64 basically never. I've played Galaxy for 10 minutes and I've never touched Sunshine because it sucks. But if it's part of the game, then I'll just play it because it's in there.
Right.
People are reporting that the Paper Mario coming out in 2020 will be closer to the N64 and GameCube editions, and more games are coming to Switch Online. And I also noted that next year is Zelda's 35th anniversary. We're getting Breath of the Wild 2 next year. Once I realized that next year is our 35th anniversary, I'm giving up any hope. And with all this going on, remember, because we talked about like last week, I think it was like after Animal Crossing, they have nothing announced for the rest of this year. This would be a good way to fill in the gap before Breath of the Wild 2 is ready and Mario Odyssey 2. Imagine if next year they're like, oh, hi, PS5 and Series X. Here in March, here's Breath of the Wild 2. And then in August or whenever the first Odyssey came out, here's Mario Odyssey 2. Have fun. But yeah, what do you think? I think this sounds incredible. I think this sounds too good to be true. But the fact that it's Eurogamer reporting on it makes me think, okay, maybe this is actually happening.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. If they put all three of those games in one game, that's insane.
Yes.
I had Galaxy. I never beat it. It was fun. It was very different.
How would they do that on this? Would you have to play with the Joy-Con? Because you got to point the star where you go or something, right?
No, that's how you could play with two players. The second person had the Wiimote, and they can you're basically a pointer, and you can help collect stuff. So
okay, that
it controls just like a normal 3D Mario game.
You just run around the planet,
right?
Okay.
Mario 64. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I feel like a remake of Mario 64. To me, I bet it should be better than Odyssey. It's Mario. There's no weird water guns. You're not in outer space. You're not throwing a hat into. It's just Mario. That game did not age well. It controls just terribly. The camera is not good. There's so many issues with it. But if you remake that game and like really remake it like from the ground up, that could be, I mean, I don't know. That alone, like I would pay $60 just for that. I would probably not pay $60 for Sunshine Galaxy. I'd be on the fence about, but like Mario 64, a full remake of that's worth $60 to me. So if you get all three of these games for $60, which I'm not holding my breath, that would be fantastic.
If they do that, I will be there day one. If it turns out that it's not a collection and it is three separate, maybe it's like one a month for 3 months or something like that, I'll get Mario 64. I would pay $60 for that for sure. Galaxy, I'd probably just put it on my Christmas list, and Sunshine,
yeah.
I don't care. The only way I'm gonna play Sunshine, like I told Solar on Twitter, I'm only going to play it if it's part of this bundle, because otherwise I'm not spending any money on that game. It could turn out to be fun, but everything I've seen of it, it's just that's hashtag not my Mario.
Yeah. And then Paper Mario, I'm glad you said that because I wasn't aware that supposedly it's going to be like the old school ones. I didn't even realize what Paper Mario was at the time. And then when the GameCube, the 1,000-Year Door, I think it was called, came out, my buddy in college had it, and I played it, and I'm like, this game is amazing. And then I went back and played the original on an emulator, and then when I heard there was a new one coming out for Wii, I was all about it. And it was this weird, like, it was almost like old school. It was Paper Mario, but it was kind of like old school Mario where you still just jump on enemies. It's like active battle and like a role-playing game where you just jump on enemies and it shows the damage, but like you don't go to like a separate screen and fight. It just didn't feel like Paper Mario. And then there's one that I got on the 3DS that was okay. I didn't like it at first, and I ended up liking it enough to beat it. But it was like cards. You had to get cards to do your attacks, and it was just a weird. I'm like, just make it like the first two. Like those were perfect. And I'm glad that supposedly, if you believe the rumors, that that's what this is going to be more like, where you don't have a card battle system and you don't, it's old school, like an old school RPG, like menu driven, like battles. Like I would love that. If it's just a souped up version of either of those two games, I mean, I'm sure I'll get it regardless. There's no way it'll be so bad that I just won't like it. So I'm excited either way, but I do hope it's like the old ones.
How does it compare to Mario RPG? From, I guess not.
It's very similar.
Okay. Is it as fun? Because I know you are very, very, very high on Mario RPG.
Yeah, they're all three of those games are fantastic. It's very, like I always talk about Mario RPG being like baby's first RPG. It's so like easy to just pick up and play, and both the early Paper Mario games were the same way. Like you go into a battle and you can either jump or use your hammer, or you use an item, or you use an ability. That's it. You learn new abilities during the game. You get better hammers and better shoes to make your jump better and your hammer. But like, it's just so easy. And that's how Mario RPG was as well. Paper Mario, the original for N64, is the only one of the three. Well, that's not true. The first one kind of did. But Paper Mario was just, it's Mario. You're in the Mushroom Kingdom. I think Bowser's like the main guy that you're trying to fight at the end. The GameCube one, the Thousand Year Door, took place in like the equivalent of like Termina. Like it's a Zelda game, but it's not Hyrule. It's that kind of thing. So I do hope it's more just typical. I want to be Mario. I want to be fighting against Bowser. I want it to be in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like just give me normal Mario. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm very excited. I think, assuming it ends up being more like the older Paper Mario games, I think you would love it too.
Interesting.
If they stray too far from that, maybe not. But I think you would like it.
Well, we will see. I would probably have to. Yeah. Again, I know we've talked about it here before, but I remember the first time I heard Paper Mario, I thought it was just they were going back to 2D Mario. I didn't realize it was an RPG until probably after it was already out, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what? I thought they were going back to 2D Mario." But oh well.
Right.
I hope it's all true. I hope it's all true.
All of it.
All of it. Selfishly, I want to play 2 of those 3 Mario games. And I just think it makes sense. I hope it's true, because I'm giving up on Breath of the Wild 2 for this year. I don't think they're going to show it at non-E3 and then say it's out in November. I don't think they want to put it up against the hopeful, launch of the next consoles. I think it makes sense. Just hold it for March like they did the original Breath of the Wild and go for it.
But that's when the new consoles may get delayed too.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, well. And the last item on the news, we got some rumors about Resident Evil 8. This comes from IGN. A first-person Resident Evil 8 will release sometime in 2021 for current and next-gen consoles and will feature more, quote, serious departures from the main line. I don't know why I said main timeline. I'm reading this from the website, so you can't mess with it. From the mainline series, according to a new report from Video Game Chronicle. This website came out of nowhere. I remember when they first popped up, I was like, who the hell is this? I didn't follow these people or add them to my gaming list. But I think they used to be not PC Gamer, but they were some like UK based video game thing that went away and came back with a new name, but whatever. VGC reports that they have verified the information provided by known Resident Evil leaker Dusk Golem on Twitter. That said, take the following information with a massive grain of salt, as previous reports from Dusk Golem on a, quote, soft reboot for Silent Hill were completely squashed by Konami, so the track record thus far isn't entirely perfect. Golem stated on Twitter that Resident Evil 8 was previously a third Resident Evil Revelations game, which transitions to a mainline, why am I having trouble with that word? a mainline title after positive feedback, and that it will feature new mechanics and themes like insanity, hallucinations, occultism, and not being able to trust others. It's funny that they say insanity, hallucinations, occultism, and not trusting people. I just think that's funny to me the way they worded that there. They should have said distrust or something. I don't know. Golem's internal sources appear to be playtesters or Capcom Ambassador Program members, basically fans who act as playtesters and probably influencers. That was weird too. Golem also stated that a gameplay sequence of Resident Evil 8 had been leaked to him, featuring a quote sequence where you're in a village with multiple routes, trying to make your way to a castle, being attacked by beastmen, zombies in armor with swords, and a witch that laughs a lot. According to VGC, it will again feature Resident Evil 7 protagonist Ethan Winters. Capcom has not commented on the supposed leak yet again, so take this with a grain of salt, as they are just rumors. This would make Resident Evil 8 the third Resident Evil game to release in 3 consecutive years. Also, there were some other rumors going around that M2 is a studio that was founded by the former Platinum Games CEO, and they actually co-developed RE3, but I don't think anybody knew that till the game came out. They are working on a remake of something that is aiming to release in 2022, but they have said it is not Code Veronica or Dino Crisis. That makes me think they're working on RE4, but let's talk 8 first. What this guy was also saying on Twitter, and I'll see if I can find it. He was saying that like these changes could really like upset a lot of people. No, I don't have it saved. But he was saying these changes could really alienate a lot of people. It will still be first person, which is what we hope for. I don't have a problem with like zombies and whatever, but it doesn't make sense when, like you were talking about how RE3 seems way more realistic than 2. RE7 was the most quote unquote realistic Resident Evil game we've ever had until you get to the end. But the whole going through the Baker Mansion or the Baker House, whatever you'd say, doesn't seem like it lines up for what they're saying RE8 is going to be. Like witches, and why would Ethan still be the protagonist in this? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, something doesn't add up. I mean, what they're describing kind of sort of sounds like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that kind of made sense because, yeah, obviously there's something still going on, and Leon is like a cop, and you know he's going to go. Ethan's just a dude, and this, if there's a castle and like a village, this does not sound like the U.S. This sounds like they're going back to Europe or something. Which, whatever, that's fine. But Ethan is not the kind of guy who would go and, ooh, there's more to the story, I'm gonna go and
he just wanted to save his wife.
You go do it. You figure this out. Like, so if you're still Ethan, I don't know, something's not adding up. I do hope they stick with first person. I do hope they keep it somewhat, you know, realistic like 7 was. I don't know. Ever since I played 7, I've wanted Resident Evil 8. I just hope they don't screw it up. 5 is not nearly as good as 4, but it's at least similar to 4. And you can see they tried to do what 4 did and make it better. 2 is very similar to 1, and they killed it. You'll never have a better setting than like the mansion.
Yeah.
But okay, police station, they basically made it a mansion. Like 2 was awesome. It pretty much improved on everything from 1 except for like just this setting, which couldn't be topped. So they have a habit, you know, they kind of look at things in trilogies, and they don't really stray too far from the path. And I'm glad it's still first person, if you believe any of this.
Right.
But I don't know why they would just go to first person for one game and then switch it. So I'm not even worried about that. It's going to be first person. But I want them to stick with this kind of like realistic feel to it and not zombies in armor with swords. Like, what? Like,
it sounds more like RE4 Remake. Like you were saying, like there's the castle and there's a village. You can go this way or this way. and there was also, I don't even remember if I read it in there, but there was also rumors going around about, it said Beastmen, that werewolves are going to be a part of this, because that
It
was
sounds
an
like
earlier
Bloodborne.
rumor. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I want Resident Evil 8, but I kind of wanted it to be Resident Evil 7 too, and this doesn't sound like that at all.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for Ethan to go to a village with a castle and fight zombies in armor with swords. I don't know. Oh, and I did see when I was reading through the guy's Twitter, he did say that the announcement was going to be made at E3, but obviously that's not happening now. I think he said he thinks it'll be coming in the next month or so. It's going to be officially announced. He doesn't know the date yet or anything like that, but it is coming next year.
So that being said, I mean, that could work for Resident Evil. Like, I think Resident Evil is at its best when it has like one big centralized location, and maybe you branch out from that a little bit, like the mansion, like the police station. Resident Evil could work in a castle. Like, that would work as a setting, but you need to tell it right. And if you populate this castle with like people in armor, like, who wears armor anymore? This sounds like it's taking place in the past. Who uses swords for that matter? Like, it'd be one thing to just say, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would there be people in a cat? I don't know. I feel like you could make it work with a castle, but why are people still wearing armor? Like, it would make sense if the people were in armor and they had swords when they died and got turned. Well, they have to be a zombie in armor at that point.
But a zombie's not going to be smart enough to go put on a suit
Put on armor. Exactly. So I don't know. There's something I don't really believe there. Maybe that's like some weird flashback that you play, like a flash way back as part of the game or something. But that just does not sound like what Resident Evil 8 would ever be.
Yeah. Unless it's something kind of like 4, where they weren't really zombies. They were just taken over by, I don't know, what were they? The Los Ganados and stuff. They were like they weren't undead, right? They were people. They were just infected
They were like, like not zombies, but like they're like puppets. I don't know. They were just like the parasitic hosts. They're just, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully next month or so. Now it's time for the wrap up. Sean, IGN announced their Summer of Gaming event, which will be taking place this June. They will be collaborating with a number of partners, including 2K, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Amazon, Google Stadia, Twitter, Devolver Digital, THQ Nordic, and more. So basically what they're trying to do is to do their own mini kind of E3 thing, I guess, to do a lot of announcements and stuff. They did also say something in there about the next gen hardware. So people are thinking maybe that's when Sony's going to do their reveal, but I'm like, they didn't even announce them as a partner. Why would they? No, Sony's going to do their own thing. They're going to do a state of play or something, and that's when they're going to do it. But that's coming. There's also reports saying the ESA is officially not doing an online E3, which I think we said that as soon as it was canceled, that no, they don't need to do anything. The publishers will just upload their videos and then that's it. What the hell does E3 add to that? That makes no sense.
Right.
But they did announce the dates for E3 2021. We'll see if it actually happens. Speaking of big conference things, Gamescom will be making a decision in the middle of May whether or not they will go forward with Gamescom or they'll just go digital only. I forget when Gamescom, if it's July or August, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and say they're going to go digital only because it's just the world's too crazy right now. I can't say, there's no way they can say for sure, hey, we're going to be out of this, especially on a global scale. Come over to Germany, 600,000 people. No way. Yeah. Minecraft Dungeons, which I still think looks pretty cool, is out on May 26th. PS4, Switch, Xbox, and PC, of course. It looks cool. That'd be one of those if like we could get a review code or something. I'd like to mess around with it because it's kind of like, I forget if it's 3 or 4 player, but it's like isometric Zelda in Minecraft. It seems like it would be fun. Actually, I'm sure the boys are gonna play it on their Xbox, so maybe I can just try it out there. The Outer Worlds is officially out on Switch June 5th. Wasteland 3 was delayed till August. Games with Gold for April was announced. The Xbone is getting Project Cars 2 and Knights of Pen and Paper bundle. Yes, that is correct. The Xbox 360, backwards compatible on the One, is getting Fable Anniversary and Toy Box Turbos. What? Seriously? And PlayStation Plus, the leaks were confirmed. Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2.0. Sony wins this in a walk, I would say.
I've always been curious about Fable, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't really care at all about Dirt Rally, but I mean, Uncharted 4 alone, many people's game of the year that year.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Sony wins.
Well, especially, and now that The Last of Us 2 is delayed, now you really have no excuses. You have to play this game. Catch up on what happened in 3. You don't have to play it, but play through 4. And I cannot wait to get your thoughts 4 years later. All right, Sean. We don't have as much of a delay this week, but this will probably still be extremely interesting. Sean, did you know that it's that time of the week when we play the It's the back of the box challenge? No, okay, so there is a little bit of delay because I was trying to wait for you, and then you waited for me, and then it got all messed up. If you didn't know, the Back of the Box Challenge is the game we play sometimes here on the podcast. What we do is we take a previous retail release of a video game, turn that box around, read the back of the box to the other player, bleep out any pertinent information that would give the game away or make it way too obvious. Then the other host/player, I just had a brain fart, gets to ask questions to try to determine what that game is. That's the Back of the Box Challenge. My face is starting to itch, and that's what we're going to do right now. I can't get used to the hairs touching my lips. Like they're just a little, they're a little long, so they touch my upper lip, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Yeah. All right, you went first last week, and you stumped me almost with Tiny Toons, so I will go first this week. Are you ready, Sean?
Ready.
Okay. Restore peace and order to your people's world. Long ago, you and your people built a peaceful land. Since then, your world has been taken over and inhabited by the evil, you won't know this name, Tansra and his guardians. Your once tranquil land has become a breeding ground for monsters. Injured, you have retreated to your sky palace and have fallen into a deep sleep. I haven't bleeped out anything. I probably should have. Now, many years have passed, and you have recovered from your injuries and slumber. You must punish Tansra and restore the world to your people, or lose their faith forever.
Okay. I don't like that you didn't bleep a single word, and yet I do not know what this game is, which tells me this is going to be very difficult.
It's a well-known game. I will give you a hint. It's a well-known game that we did not own, but it's one I really want to play at some point. And at some point, I'll probably get bored and at least try it out because it's very, very well-liked game.
Is it this gen?
No.
Oh.
No.
The way you were talking about it sounded new.
No.
16-bit?
Yes.
Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Capcom?
Nope. Who did
Konami?
it? No. Who made it? Hold on. Wow. You'll never get there. You want me to tell you who?
Sure.
Enix, which I did not know.
Is it like an action RPG?
I don't know if it let me look at the genre. I don't think it has RPG elements. No. Well, it says it has gameplay RPG elements, so I guess it does.
Is it part of a series?
I believe there was a sequel. I think. Let me Google that real quick. Yes, there was a sequel.
For Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Wow. Have I? I mean, have I talked about this game? Like, do I know? Like, have I played this game, or do I at least?
I don't know that you played it. You definitely know it. It came out the year the Super Nintendo came out. I'll say that. I'll give you a little hint.
Wow.
Think about what I said. Well, keep going. I could give you a hint that would definitely give it away. Let me read the rest of the back of the box.
Oh, there's more. Okay.
Action mode. Breathe life into the statue modeled after your likeness to cleanse the land and defeat the monsters who have conquered. Simulation mode. Help your people develop a new land from that which has been purified and build towns with your powers.
Is this like ActRaiser or something?
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
Did you ever play
That's-
ActRaiser? Because
No.
it's part God.
I remember
simulator.
being part simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It's part action, part God. Like you're building cities and stuff. You got the little Cupid thing flying around from the top down view.
No, I've never played that.
I've heard so many good things about this game that I want to give it a try. I was shocked that wasn't on the SNES Classic. I think we might have predicted that it was. I can't remember, but yeah, I've got it on the Pi, I'm pretty sure, and I want to give it a try at some point. So, yep, ActRaiser. I knew if I read those last two, you'd get there.
Wow. Yeah, that is a game I have missed out on. All right. Kevin, your tone.
I was just going to say my turn.
All right. Blank returns in this incredible new Blank adventure.
16-bit adventure?
It is 16-bit, but that's not what
okay.
it says. His latest rival is Blank. I don't think you would know it, but it may be one of those things that you've heard. A menacing creature. A menacing creature who causes fear and treachery in the blank blank. Blank must recover 7 blanks and repair the blank before he can make his way to blank's blank for a final confrontation with blank.
Oh my God. Do you realize I didn't bleep out one word and you bleeped out 50?
Powerful weapons, sinister spells, and other useful items help Blank to complete his harrowing journey. New friends and old allies support him along the way. Even Blank lends a hand.
Oh, for a second there, I started thinking it was Zelda 2, but you said it was 16-bit. Did this series start in 16-bit or was it 8-bit?
8-bit.
Is it a Capcom game?
No.
Is it a Nintendo game?
Yes.
Okay. Started 8-bit. It's Nintendo. Do you play as a pink fluffy thing?
No.
Damn. Some of his friends are back. Well, but it said you cast spells and stuff, right?
It said something about that. Yeah, powerful weapons, sinister spells, and other useful items.
Nintendo. Is this series still going?
No. Well, yeah, yeah.
What powerful spells, first party game. Wait, when I said it's a Nintendo game, I meant did Nintendo publish it?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure. Okay.
That is correct.
I didn't know if you were like, well, yeah, it's on Super Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah.
What the heck could this be? It started on 8-bit, 16-bit. There was not an Icarus game on the Super Nintendo. What else started on the Nintendo? Spells and stuff. Is this a top-down game?
Not top-down, no.
Does that mean it's like isometric or something?
Yeah, I mean it's not sides. It's more top-down than side-scrolling.
Is this an RPG?
Yes.
Do you wear a red hat?
Yes.
Yes. That was a long back of the box. So now I see why you had to bleep everything out. What is
So
the
would you
bad
have known-
guys? I'll know
Yeah,
it
I
when
was
you
gonna
say it.
Would you know Smithy?
Yeah, I would have been like, that sounds familiar. And
That's
then
kind of what I
eventually,
thought.
I would have been like, oh, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Another game that you need to try out on
Yeah.
the Pi. Or just on, is that on the SNES Mini Classic thing?
it's on the SNES Classic. I wonder if it's on. Is it on SNES Online? Do you know? Because that'd be the easiest way to do it.
It might be.
Let me see if I can find.
It should be. It should be.
Just list the games, Nintendo, for crying out loud. Let me scroll through these pictures. There's like 3 pictures. All right, I don't have any idea. Here's ranking all the Switch games. I mean the SNES games. Link to the Past, Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Demon's Crest, Star Fox, Super Tennis, F-Zero, Super Punch Out. Of course, you got to go to multiple pages because they got to get them clicks. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Stunt Race FX. Wow, that looks horrible. Poppin' Twin V, Smash Tennis, Kirby Superstar. Well, clearly it's not on there because it would have been way
It would have
higher
been
than that.
top 3 probably.
Brawl Brothers is on there. Holy crap. It's a game where the box art, the dude who kind of looks like Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury is punching through a brick wall with both fists. If you saw it, you'd remember it. Yeah, okay. Well, I do need to give it a try at some point. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for episode 176. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope the quality was better this week. Whether you're on audio or video, I think it will be. As you know, we're part of the Nerd 901 family, so go to nerd901.com for all things nerdy in Memphis and across the multiverse. Also, check out Ernie, the Blur Without Fear, at youtube.com/Blur Without Fear. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin White 24. He's at Real Sean White. I don't know which way I should be pointing. Together, we're at 2player_co-op. Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, audio services. You know the whole deal. Thanks for the Facebook views. Whenever I stop posting on Facebook, y'all start going there. I don't get it. So I'm just not going to post there anymore because then you guys won't go, I guess. Apparently that's how it works. But that's it. We'll be back for 177 next week, God willing. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.